Welcome back to Day Trade Like a Pro. It's Friday, October 2nd. We're looking at the S&P 500. And I wanted to show you something. I've wanted to pull this up the last couple days and show it. And then we're going to jump over and look at prediction points and see how the week sort of played out and how things went. And last night, you may have known there was some news that came out about President Trump testing positive for COVID-19. And that seemed to drive the markets lower, and we're going to jump over and look at that. And then more importantly, we're going to talk about what to expect in the coming week, and I'll also walk you through what prediction points are telling us about the next week. So this is just a real simple 5-minute chart. These lines that you see here are our proprietary key turn prices, the blue and yellow and red and green, and then orange and white. This one is what we call One Price. These are tools that are part of our Day Trade Like a Pro Suite. And if you want to learn more about that, you can go do that on the website. But I wanted to show you here one of the things that we have a number of traders who are using this. So I wanted to do a brief overview or training on it real quickly. And then I want to jump over and look at prediction points. So this was Monday night. We had this, Monday afternoon, we broke out. We pulled right back to here. We held that key turns level to the tick. New key turn prices, they adjust a bit. Sometimes they way adjust, but Monday was pretty slow, and so they didn't adjust that much. We ended up holding right here on this new one, moving up into here, testing that, and then selling off from there down to here. One tick through that, a little bit of a bounce, break through it. And then once we broke below both of those, it's sort of off to the races. Now, before I get too far ahead of myself, key turns are basically, it's a single price in the market that above this we're bullish and below it we're bearish. And that would be these red and green ones. And then these are extensions of that sort of. So if you're long above here, you can be short unless we break out above here, then you're short up here. And then long again here, long here, and once we're below it, then we're looking mostly for shorts. And eventually it's likely they're going to break and then come back and retest it, so there's opportunities for that. But I just want to walk you through the week. You can see we had some pretty nice selling from 21 down here, about 30 points down into here. So some nice selling opportunities there. Plenty of opportunities on selling these bounces. And then above here, we really become buyers on a pullback rather than selling bounces. And there's plenty of opportunity for selling the bounces, but we really become buyers of pullbacks above here. So here's the key turns. It moves up above here, pulls back, and then from 55 ends up going nearly about 30 points up to there. It's 29 points up to there. And then pulls back here, tests, and then we get a bit of a break, and it kind of holds around this area, and we'll see what happens as that sort of unfolds for the week. Okay, so now it starts to pull down to here. You can see 33.56 right there. That ends up holding. I believe this was yesterday. That held. Couldn't really break out up above this area, but then probe below it. And then notice where key turns are up here. So we have a short bias coming into the Globex session for Friday, and we can see clearly what happens here. The news comes out about President Trump having COVID. That comes all the way down here to this one price, and that one price was from before, right there. So this was back on Wednesday, I believe. Yeah. And then Thursday, and then Friday we came back and finally filled that one price, which is basically what we expect one price to do. It's sort of like a magnet. And there we go. So there's one price. We have on the chart, we have 259 levels, and 97% of those levels get filled within 20 days is the way that ends up working out. You can see 259 levels. We can actually change it into percentages. So 93% of these levels end up filling within 20 days. And so there's a number of uses for that, whether you're options or hedging, or you can certainly use it intraday. You can see where it populates right here at 5 a.m. Pacific time. That's 8 a.m. Eastern time. And this price is just a magnet typically throughout the day. If we went back and looked at, we would just see many times that the market is just, this is a magnet. Here it is over here. Here it is over here. Here it is right there. Just, you know, it's really just a magnet. that the market keeps coming back to. You can kind of get an idea of what key turns looks like as well over time. Not like we were favoring, you know, there's a beautiful trade. There's a beautiful trade. Nice long off of there, nice long off of there, short off of there, short off of there, short there, short here again. Decent long right there, selling the breakdown. Anyway, you get the idea of that. Okay, let's jump over and look at prediction points. So here are prediction points. One of the things that stood out to me when I was putting all the prediction points together last night, when I looked at I put it all together and I thought, that's not very many prices. And that was before any of the selling happened. And there was there were some fairly big gaps. You can see 33.47 up here to 64. So some pretty large, this is, you know, 15 or so point gap. This is 31 up to 44. So, you know, a 13-point gap. And then you have a 10-point gap or 11-point gap down to there. So I just noticed there were a lot of big spaces in between prediction points. So we have a congestion zone for sure. They traded right through it. They came back. There's your congestion. Had a hard time trading through it. Finally broke through it. Did come back and test it. And then this consolidation area. And we basically, once we traded into here, came back and tested, we consolidated the rest of the day into here. And did not get back up into here, but we already had tested this over here before, so not necessarily needing to come back up here. But you know, it did make an attempt to get up here. 59.50 was the high right there. So let's talk a little bit about the movement. Like, let's look into the future here. There's some things that are relatively important here. Below this price, you can see that if we scrunch this down, we came down and tested. Not quite a pullback to this area, but not sure that's going to be quite as important with all the trading that already happened in here. We might just melt right through that if we come back there. So right here, we came down, tested this area. If they come back down here and they can't hold this, now these are going to change for Monday, but if they come back here and they can't hold this area for higher, we'll likely see down into the 32.90s, 32.80s pretty easily. That's 40 or 50 points below this. If they can hold this area, then what we're looking for is a bigger move up into the, ultimately up above 3,400. And that's a, you know, 70 or plus point move up to the upside. So minimum to the downside, if they can't hold this area Sunday in Globex or Monday, whenever, if it comes back and gets tested, we're going to see 32.90s, 32.80s fairly easily. If they can hold this, we'll probably get a bit of a grind up to 3,400 plus. Now they might hold it and see if we can get some buyers up there. Eventually we're going to need to get above here and hold these to keep moving higher. But, you know, you get the idea of that if you've been around the prediction point methodology at all. And these are all things that we cover. We've had a lot of traders asking, but these are all things that we cover and that we teach in MAP. So we teach you how to interpret, rather than just having random lines on a chart, we teach you what each one of these lines has a meaning and tells us something about the market. And that's something that we teach in MAP. So if you're interested in MAP, feel free to reach out to us. You can send DTLAP a message on Discord, or you can send an email to support@daytradelikeapro.com. We're happy to talk with you and see if that's a good fit. It's fairly limited as far as who we let in, but if you think it might be a good fit for you, or you might be a good fit for MAP, feel free to reach out to us and we can explore that with you. But that's what we're looking at going into next week. We're looking forward to having you with us if you're a member in the live trade signals, if you're using the prediction points here. Looking forward to next week. If you have questions, please make sure you get those answered. And we'll see you in the live trade signals on Monday. Everybody, really enjoy your weekend.